Hi everybody, I'm Ada or Shinawan and today we will be playing Freedoom. We will be starting on the hard difficulty Extreme Carnage, but that's a mistake. Hard in Freedoom is actually pretty hard, unlike Doom 1. So what is Freedoom? As some of you might know, Doom Engine is open source, meaning anyone can use or modify it. However, the game itself is proprietary and you have to buy it in a store like Steam or GOG. So in 2003, Team of Volunteers first released a completely free and open source game on Doom Engine that is compatible with pretty much all Doom mods and maps. Despite 18 years of development, it still has some flaws. So I hope that my blind playthrough as an outsider can help improve the game. Here in the first level, we already see some good design. The pit draws the player's eye, and when player enters the pit, they will learn about lifts and they will be forced to quickly learn about combat or die. This is good tutorial design. Remember, for many people this will be their first Doom experience, as it was for me a couple years ago. I only played the part of the first level, so this is still pretty much blind. Now we see a problem with this level at Extreme Carnage. There's way too many enemies and not enough ammo. I appreciate the challenge, but I'm not sure if this was the best way to approach this, especially since shooting these serpentipedes in placements is pretty tedious with just a pistol. So yeah, I ran out of ammo and I died trying to kill these monsters. I think part of the issue with Freedom is I see a lot of talk about removing and replacing levels. I don't follow Freedom development religiously, so correct me if I'm wrong, but to my knowledge, that's not how most people in the game industry do stuff. There are no bad ideas, only bad execution. Even the worst levels can be made better with fixes and iteration. In fact, because this commentary isn't live, between recording this footage and recording this audio, I actually made a tweaked version of this E1M1, in which I will submit on the Doom World forums. I hope that I can be a positive influence on this game. So yeah, I'm trying really hard to figure out an alternate approach to this encounter. I'm okay at best at Doom, and it doesn't help that I usually play on GS Doom. The lack of mouse look in Crispy Doom changes the game feel and that throws me off. This wouldn't be much of an issue if I had access to a shotgun. Again, playing it blind on hard difficulty was probably a mistake. I'm trying to reach a higher ground for my advantage, but I just don't have enough ammo. Also, this room is kind of barren. So then I make another mistake and try going into the other room. That could work, but I'm not used to vanilla, and it's hard for me to notice enemies that are above me. And I didn't notice the pinky replacement, the worm, and I die again. So let's try it one more time. This time I'm punching to save an ammunition. And I actually have some success due to infighting, but these serpentipedes are just too much to handle with just a pistol, at least for me. Again, there might be too many enemies in this room to throw at a player. Oh yeah, this room. Good level design practice is to introduce every new challenge by giving player the chance to safely learn. Not the case here, and yes, it's the same on normal. So I tried that path again. This might have worked if I was better at the game, but yeah, I'm no speedrunner. So at this point I start to get frustrated and tired and I decide to change the difficulty. The game is still a challenge on normal, I'm sorry, bring on the pain, just not ridiculously so. Shooting these centipedes is still tedious even on normal. Probably the worst part of the level. Actually, I'll fast forward past it. And this room again. Every new challenge or enemy should be introduced separately and safely. This is just bad design, and when you're fighting hit scanners, there's no real cover anywhere. In animation at least. Speaking of animations, I generally notice that character designs are good and distinct, but animations could use improvement. I'm a beginning animator, so I'm thinking of making some myself and submitting them. And here is the green armor. I didn't notice the elevator shotgun because of lack of mouse look, and I died. My fault. So I watched the infamous review of Freedoom by Bad Geek, and while I disagree with most of it, he does have some points. It doesn't feel that good to shoot enemies that are very far up or down in the Doom engine without mouse look. So now that I learned what a shotgun is, I'm trying to get it as fast as I can. And here's a problem. I get stuck on geometry, and counter design forces the player backwards, but the designer added an indentation in the wall which is just cosmetic, and I got stuck in it. The solution would be to add an extra impassable line that flash with the outer wall layer. And while it's not a major problem, the same thing happened to me when I first tried to play Freedom a while back, so it is an issue. I finally succeed, and this is actually a piece of good design. The player who followed the obvious path has no way to progress forward. So the only choice is to backtrack, teaching the player that maps in Doom are non-linear. Original NES Metroid did something similar where if you simply walked right, like in any other platformer, you would stumble upon an impassable wall. If you then backtracked left, you would discover Morph Ball tool to bypass the wall. So this time I did the smart path, and using a shotgun easily kills both zombies. And here's another problem. My first instinct was to see if I can grab ammo from the shotgunner, but I really can't. There's no way. I think it's just a wasted opportunity for a cool moment. This kind of concept is called negative possibility space in game design. When you create an expectation to the player that isn't met, that results in disappointment. For those interested, Extroverted has a decent video on the topic that I will link in the description. This isn't perfect, but it's a good place to start learning about game design. So yeah, at this point playing on hard taught him that ammo will be scarce, so we're trying to punch out the pinky. However, I soon realized that I have enough ammo to shoot him. Here's something interesting. I get stuck on the boxes while backing away. However, unlike the previous room, this isn't unfair because I actually had a decent chance to scout the room before this happened. The issue was that in that room there was no way for me to learn about the indentation ahead of time. Oh, I should probably note that the explosive barrels kind of don't really look like explosive barrels. They look like old Doom barrels, and they also don't look like barrels from modern games, which are usually red. I think simple recolor of the sprite would be enough. Here's the blue keycard. One thing I immediately noticed is that columns aren't actually aligned correctly, which is a bit weird. Irregular designs create organic feeling, where artificial man-made stuff should be regular, aligned, and angular. Also in the review by Bad Geek, he mentioned that the secret link to the angle grinder, which is chancellor replacement area, is a bit hard to notice. Myself, I noticed immediately, but I'm used to playing Dooms. I know to always look around everywhere when I enter a new area. A new player might not be so lucky. Also notice that I missed the secret angle grinder that's actually there. Bright sprite and a bright texture in low resolution is hard to spot. Imagine that the mapper only playtested the map in high resolution on GZ Doom and on a more vanilla source port like Crispy Doom. So one thing that is the problem here is that the door textures on our prison cells, it isn't immediately obvious that they are doors. I actually at first assumed they are just cosmetic indentations, because nothing about their context implies they're dolls. Notice at first I skipped them without trying to open them, and after I remember my first playthrough a while back, I go, oh yeah, those are dolls. A solution might be introducing the texture earlier in context where it's obviously a doll. So here I realized that I actually have plenty of ammo, to my surprise, so I decided to take care of those pinky worms in Angle Grinder Secret to get 100% kills. And again, I don't notice Angle Grinder and kill them with a shotgun. Don't think it's a problem with Angle Grinder sprite, it's honestly amazing and probably the best weapon sprite in Freedom. It's just an issue with texture it's on in this context. So we're getting close to the end. Like I said, I don't think this is a bad level, but it could use some tweaks, and I will submit a tweaked version to the Freedom Project forums on Doomworld. So that was level 1. All in all, not a bad start to the game. I enjoyed it. This series will continue. If you guys want to see me upload more game design analysis, let's plays, and other similar videos about games and comics, I actually have a Patreon that you can contribute to. This is Shiny1, bidding you a goodbye. See ya!